Let's kick off the show from the rail transportation sector. This time, the Managing Director of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Mrs. Abimbola Akinjo, says over 4 million passengers have been transported on the Blue Rail line since its commencement in 2023. And the Phase 2 of the Blue Rail line project will commence passenger operations in the first quarter of 2027. The Managing Director of LAMATA made this comment during an inspection of ongoing projects in Marina and Mile 2. Please take a look.
The Managing Director of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Mrs. Abimbola Akinjo, and her team are out for an on-the-spot assessment of the ongoing engineering work at Marina that will bring about a transport interchange for commuters. Workers on site are seriously engaged with massive equipment that will deliver the Marina interchange hub for citizens. The Strategic Transport Master Plan project is very close to the Marina train station for easy connectivity of train services, water transportation, and bus rapid transit option for passengers. The LAMATA team proceeds to Marina Station, where the construction of a walkway is also ongoing, and the site engineer briefs the Managing Director of LAMATA about the scope of the project.
There's just a walkway and then we cover this place such that when you are going to the station, you can use the gate. We have gates for pedestrians, we have vehicular gates.
So that means that from here backwards is where we're going to have all of our interchange activities.
Yes, sir.
Mini shops also taking shape along the Marina interchange, and members of the team is leaving nothing to chance concerning safety of commuters. They make their way into the train station and await the next ride that will take them to Mile 2.
Where's your train?
How long? It's not working.
It's working inside.
Welcome!
Here comes a train which drops off passengers, then straight to Mile 2. In less than 20 minutes, they arrive at their destination to inspect another ongoing transport interchange project at Mile 2, as well as the Phase 2 of the Blue Rail Line project. LAMATA MD is confident that the two transport interchange projects will make commuting a lot easier, and both infrastructure projects will be delivered by end of the year or first quarter 2026.
Marina is a major transport hub for us, it's a major interchange. It has both rail, road and water. So that's what an interchange does is an area that is transport oriented, and it is ensuring that you can change modes in less than 5 minutes. So we're making sure that if you land from the train, you can take a bus to complete your journey. If you land from water jetty, you can take a train to complete your journey, or you can take the buses. So every hierarchy of bus is in Marina. So in talking about interchanges, I must also note that we have non-motorized transport in Marina and here. So we have cycle paths, we have cycle parks for cycle, and we also have walkways. Walkways that will link you from the conurbation inside Inner Marina. So if you know, most of us, there are a lot of office buildings in Inner Marina, so you'll be able to walk from there to the train stations, to the bus services. And the same thing is happening here in Mile 2. Mile 2 also has all modes of transportation. There's rail, there's road, the buses, and then there's water. And there is also NMT, non-motorized transport. So we're ensuring that we have walkways, we have cycle paths, we have bus terminals, we have bus stops for the first and last mile buses, we have bus stops for regular buses, mid-traffic buses, and we also have a BRT alongside the whole corridor. So it is ensuring that we are providing not just transportation, but transport infrastructure that will support the vision of the state, which is to have this integrated intermodal transport system. And that's what these two interchanges are doing to facilitate the integrated system that Lagos is promoting. For Mile 2, we're looking at the end of the year. For Marina, we're also looking at the end of the year with some constraints, and those constraints were what we identified in Marina when we got there today. If you notice, there are two contractors working in Marina. Federal government are also doing work on the seawall, and we are continuing to do this work. So ensuring that we work together without impinging on one another's program is what we've been managing. And today we have gotten to a place where we have now agreed with the federal government contractor how to give us a bit more room, and so therefore the possibility of completing at the very worst first quarter of next year is what we're looking at for Marina. So therefore, if you take the train already and it takes you to Marina, the ability to complete it, maybe you need a bus to go further into Victoria Island or Ikoyi or wherever, that will exist within the same system. And then also ambience. There is a position that our public transport infrastructure should be pleasing to the people that will use it. So the infrastructure exists for functionality, it exists for efficiency, and it exists also for the people to be able to enjoy what we have done. So if you look at the Marina infrastructure, it's overlooking the water. There will be landscaping that allows you to have a sit and just think. Those sorts of things are part of what we are also inputting into the infrastructure. We have been touting this Cowry card for a long time. We've been around for over 4 years. We have over 5 million users of this Cowry card, or at least there are 5 million people, Lagosians, carrying this card. This is the card you require to do all of these journeys, whether on the ferries, or on train, or on buses. Any of our buses, you utilize the same card. So it is, this integration is all about location, it is about infrastructure, and it is about systems.
The journey continues to Mazamaza area of Lagos to inspect the progress of work for the construction of a new bridge. LAMATA says the Mazamaza station will be completed by end of the year, with an appeal to residents not to cross the electric rail tracks and also protect the infrastructure provided by government.
This is actually the trickiest of all our bridges. We have 3 bridges on this second phase of the Blue Line. We have Mazamaza, we have Lasu, and we have Alaba Bridge. The other 2 bridges, all of the substructure has been completed, and we're starting to build abutment walls and retaining walls. But here, the challenge here is that we removed the bridge from here, and the existing foundation is somewhat in the way of us doing the piling for the new bridge. So each pile is taking us almost a month to complete. So we have 66, they have done about 36 at the moment, and we are trying very hard to ensure that we complete without causing damage. We expect that the substructure here in Mazamaza will be completed by the end of the year. That in itself is a huge feat for us. Now, what do we have? The second phase, like you say, is 6 stations and 3 bridges and about 13.5 kilometers of track work. The vision is that we want to be complete with the structure by the end of the year for all of those stations. Those stations are quite advanced. So we will say, as per the whole project, we're about 40% done. The program is speaking to completion by the end of 2026, so that we can start looking at starting of operations along this side by the first quarter of 2027. Buildings for the stations ongoing, no challenges there. The biggest, after Maza, the biggest challenge will now be a depot at Okokomaiko. Acquisitions have to be done there, ensuring that we implement enough to allow us to have stabling and maintenance and all of that training in that area is also part of what we're looking at. But we're quite comfortable and quite confident that by the end of 2026, the alignment will be completed all the way to Okokomaiko. What is important is how many services can we provide. Today we're providing 72 services a day on the Blue Line, and we're doing it in 18-minute cycles. What we will start doing in the next couple of months will be every 10 minutes there will be a train on that system, at least in the peak period, the morning peak and the evening peak. In between peak, we will maintain the 18 minutes per cycle. So for us, we're very, very focused on delivering a service, and that is important. It is also important to note that we have been running this for it's about 18 months now, and it's been very, very successful. We've not had an accident, we've not had an incident, and we have had very, very, very little downtime. When I look at our efficiency, we're over 96%. So that's something for us that we're trying to ensure we maintain and get better at. So once it's completed and we have the level of headways that we're expecting, and that means that I can run a train, at least in the peak, every 3 minutes, we'll be able to offer services to not less than 450,000 passengers every day. As far as we're concerned, we expect that by the first quarter of 2027, we will have a concessionaire that we will unveil and hand over operations to. We have maintenance agreements with the contractor who's built it, and they are the ones who have been doing the maintenance to date. You being on the corridor with us, you can see the level of care that has been provided to the infrastructure. The infrastructure looks almost as new as 3 years ago when it was implemented. Beyond that, when we now hand over to the private sector, they will also have responsibility to ensure the maintenance and all of that. But also, it is important that we as citizens of Lagos, this infrastructure belongs to all of us. It is important that all of us take ownership and ensure that we look after it. When you see somebody doing something wrong, please make sure you tell someone in the station. All of this belongs to all of us, and it is our pride because we're the first country and the first state in Africa to have, or at least sub-Saharan Africa, to have an electric metro system. And today we have a lot of testaments from people who use this now, who probably used to drive their cars. And you can imagine when we get to the likes of Okokomaiko, we would have passed Festac, Alaba, Trade Fair, people who go all that way from that area into the island. They don't need their cars anymore. So we're looking for that position where there will be reduction in congestion. Even today, there's reduction in congestion. When you're on the buses, you're on the trains, please, please, please look after it. Don't put your feet on the chairs, don't eat and litter, don't run into the doors. That's another thing. Don't run into the train when the doors are shutting, because you will cause a problem. You will cause a problem for yourself because you could get injured. You can cause a problem for the service because the service may be delayed. And also ensure that you don't cross the tracks. Here it's electric and it's fenced off. It's the same thing. Don't cross the tracks on the red line system either. The red line system, it is important that people note that it is not a place to carry out enterprise. It is not a place to cross. Please, 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 for your safety, for the safety of the people on the trains, don't cross the tracks, and ensure also that you look after the infrastructure.
The Blue Rail Line Phase 2 has 3 bridges and 6 stations, which include Festac, Alakija, Trade Fair, Lasu, Volkswagen and Okokomaiko. LAMATA assures Lagosians of passenger operation by 2027 in order to reduce road congestion and carbon emission in Lagos State.